Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We invite you to come and worship with us every Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We are right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. There's parking on Hillcrest. We begin service at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and worship with us, and we invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. If you're in our area, come and experience New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And we are going to be making some announcements coming up, so please stay tuned. You don't want to miss this, but if you're not in our area, stay tuned in on Sunday for the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time when we go live with the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center - Pastor Pope. You can tune in on YouTube every Sunday at 10:45 a.m. And of course, every Monday through Friday, we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com, and those of you that are using the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So, for all of our listeners and viewers, you may know this, but we have been running a FijiWater.com sponsored promo for the entire month of March. And so, we are going to be announcing today our winner of one case of Fiji Water from FijiWater.com. And so, what we've been doing, and we're going to continue doing, and I'm going to explain what we're going to continue doing as we go into the new month of April. And what I'm going to say to everyone is we're gonna expand it a little bit to include Saturday and Sundays. And what we've been doing is having you tune in on our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. We want you every day, every Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. The first three songs you hear, you text those songs, the list of those songs, along with your name and your email address. We do that also at 6 p.m. now. So we're going to be including Saturdays and Sundays also. We are going to, as we go into the new month, and I'll share that with you how we're going to do that also. But today, we have a winner of one free case of Fiji Water from FijiWater.com. So Denise Ford of South Carolina is our winner who has been selected to receive a case of water from FijiWater.com. We will be notifying FijiWater.com the beginning of the week that you have been selected as the winner. We will have a case of water shipped to you from FijiWater.com. So we want to thank you for tuning in. We want everyone to tune in because as we go into the new month, we are going to now expand that to Sunday, and we're going to do 6 p.m. on Sunday. We're going to do 12 noon and 6 p.m. on Saturday. We're going to do 6 p.m. on Sunday. That's for all of us who are in church on Sundays. But we're going to do 6 p.m. on Sundays. You can hear the first 3 songs that are played on WKAPfaith.com. The first 3 songs. So we're only going to do Saturday from starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're going to do the same thing at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then on Sundays, we're going to do 6 p.m. I'm being a little facetious, but I know many of us are in church on Sundays, so we're only going to do it once on Sundays, and that's at 6 p.m. So every day now, tune in starting tomorrow. Every day you can tune in at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is for all of our U.S. listeners and viewers. You'll tune in to WKAPfaith.com at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time. At 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The first 3 songs you hear, you will list those songs. You will text them. You will email them or text them to newlifepastor@comcast.net, or you can text them on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. Along with your name and your email address. Another listener or viewer will be selected next month to receive another case of Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. Today, our listener and viewer who is selected is Denise Ford of South Carolina. We want to congratulate you on receiving Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. That shipment will go out at some point next week. We will be communicating with FijiWater.com about you receiving your case of Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. And for all of our listeners and viewers, we're going to be doing some additional promos, but we're going right into next month and we're expanding it to include Saturday and Sunday. So from now on, every day of the week, Monday through Saturday from 12 noon to 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and again at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the first 3 songs you hear, you will text them along with your name and your email address to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. And on Sundays, only at 6 p.m. But you'll have many opportunities to communicate throughout the month, and you don't have to do it just one time. The more you send in the list of the first 3 songs at 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and again at 6 p.m. on Sunday, the more opportunity you have to win a case of Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. We are doing all of this because we want you to stay connected with us through our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com, which is sponsored by FijiWater.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband... Okay, so let me first of all say this. I'm going to revisit the communications from yesterday because we had audio failure, but I'm only going to do that after addressing the other communications that were up for today. Yesterday we had audio failure. We just complete audio failure. I literally did the broadcast for 30 minutes, only to find out that we had audio failure. Didn't want to stop. For those of you who communicated and said you couldn't hear or there was problems with the audio, we had audio failure. So I didn't stop the broadcast. Didn't see your communications until after getting off the broadcast. But we did a whole broadcast yesterday with no audio. So, I mean, we had a real audio problem yesterday. So for those of you that were with us or tried to be on, thank you for tuning in. And now I'm going to, I'll go back and address the communications that were up for yesterday, but not until after I address the communications that were on the schedule for today. Because we've already prayed over them and we want you to hear from God. Because that's why you're here, to hear what God has to say, to receive daily divine direction. So you indicated that your husband says that you are negative Nelly. You know, this isn't the first time I've heard this. You said he says that you complain about every little thing. And you don't think that you complain about every little thing, but he says you complain about every little thing. And the question I have to say to you, the question I have to ask you is the question you have to ask for yourself. Do you? Do you really, you say you don't think you do, but do you really complain about every little thing? Do you spend your time looking for a reason to complain about something? Because if that's what you're doing, you are damaging the quality of your life. If you're, and this is good because this is for all of our listeners and viewers. You are damaging the quality of your life because as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. So if you're always thinking about a reason to complain, you're damaging and disrupting the quality of your life. So you have to start thinking about things differently. And the way that you do that, you know, as I was prayerful about this communication, I was thinking about the eyes of God. And, you know, what I was praying for you is that God would allow you to see through his eyes how beautiful everything truly is. You know, from nature to the life that he's given you. You know, life is a beautiful thing. It's not always pleasant for everyone, but having life is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because having life means that you get up every day, having the breath of life, you get an opportunity to pursue success. You get the opportunity to maximize your potential. You get the opportunity to experience the greatness of God. And that's why life is beautiful. That's why, you know, the enemy wants us to see things through his eyes, which are never positive, which are only destructive. And that in turn will damage your spirit. It will cause your spirit to be vexed, to be suppressed, the spirit of joy to be suppressed, the spirit of thankfulness to be suppressed. You don't want your joy to be suppressed by looking things through the eyes of the enemy. You want to be able to look through the eyes of God and see the beauty of life. Because the intent is that we have life and we have it more abundantly. That's what Christ taught us. That's why he came. So if we know that, we should say to ourselves every day, I'm looking for the next opportunity. I'm looking for the potential to do something much greater. And my expectation is that God has something greater for me. So that's all the reason for joy. Joy that is unspeakable. You can't even, you know, when you get to that place where you're looking through the eyes of God, The reason the Bible calls it unspeakable joy is because you can't even explain the joy that you have. You just know that you have it. You can't explain it. You can only live it out. You can only live the joy because you really cannot explain to anyone else why you have such joy, why you have such peace that surpasses all understanding. See, when you really see what God is doing and see through the eyes of God what he desires for you, you can't help but to rejoice. So life is not the problem, your perspective is the problem. How you perceive life. And for all of our listeners and viewers, one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to start having a much clearer perception, have some clarity about what life has to offer. You know, there's so many great things that God has in store. There's so many, there's a song on our internet radio station that we play from time to time that says, there's a million little miracles. There's a million miracles that God has done in our lives and will continue to do in our lives. There's a million miracles. You know, things that you have been blessed to experience and things that you've been prevented from experiencing. You know, we have an old adage that we use often that God protects us from dangers seen and unseen. Some things we can see and he's protected us from them. Some things we haven't seen or cannot see that he's protected us from. We don't even know what he's done in the spiritual realm. All we know is it didn't happen. That it wasn't going to be a blessing for our lives, and so God protected us from it. But God wants to pour out his blessings upon us. He wants to manifest his blessings within us. He wants us to see through the eyes of faith. And the eyes of faith are looking through the eyes of God. The eyes of faith are seeing the things that may not exist yet as if they've already existed. Being able to see vision with clarity, vision for your life. And if all you're doing is looking for reasons to complain, those reasons to complain are going to interfere with what God wants you to see. They're going to interfere with what God wants to do in your life. So we have to make certain that we do our part to really look through the eyes of God and experience something much greater than we see with our own eyes on a daily basis. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So, I also want you to be aware that this segment of the broadcast is brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. So if you're in the market for a high-performance automobile and you want one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will have the opportunity to build out virtually the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area, you can just simply go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that someone assists you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area and you currently own a Porsche and you're just in need of service, go to PortiaDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager at PortiaDelaware.com. He will make certain that an appointment is scheduled for you and that your vehicle is picked up at your home or office, and they will provide you with the loaner car while your car is being serviced. They will return your car to you when your service has been completed at PortiaDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, and before I do that, I just want to announce to everyone, Denise Ford of South Carolina is the winner of our case of Fiji water from FijiWater.com. We celebrate and we look forward to what we're going to continue doing with our monthly promotions that we're going to be doing with FijiWater.com and whatever else we are going to do as we stay connected with you through our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. So just remember, as the new month begins, starting tomorrow, we are not just going to be doing Monday through Friday. We are going to Monday through Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We want you to tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. However, we definitely want you to go participate in the promo 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Monday through Saturday, and at 6 p.m. on Sunday. You can tune in to WKAPFaith.com. And the first 3 songs you hear at 12 p.m. and at 6 p.m., you will list those songs, text them along with your name and your email address at the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will select another winner next month for a case of Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. Congratulations, Denise Ford in South Carolina. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you say that all 3 of your children have returned home at different points. However, you said your husband lets them stay at home. They don't pay anything for staying at home. They don't buy any food. They don't do anything. It increases your living expenses, and it has, at certain times, kept you from going on vacation. Okay, so let me say this. It probably, let's be clear on something. It probably really hasn't affected your ability to go on vacation because you save all year to go on vacation. That's just what people do. If you want to keep money in reserve, but you want to go on vacation, you're going to have to put money aside to go on vacation because you're going to spend money on vacation. But here's the reality. Your children keep coming home at different points. They're young adults, but they keep coming home at different points. Your husband has no problem with them being at home. I understand that. And I'm going to say this to you. I certainly support what your husband's doing, particularly if he is having your children come home so that they have the opportunity to build some wealth. They have the opportunity to save money, not for the purpose of going on vacation or doing frivolous things, but if they're saving money so that they can invest, I'm all for that. And realistically, it would be the same thing if they had a loss of job. It would be the same thing if they had a medical experience or a medical emergency. You wouldn't charge them anything for being at home. They're your children. You gotta look at things a little differently. Your husband's trying to do something, and what he's trying to do is give them an opportunity. He's trying to give them an opportunity to save money. He's trying to give them an opportunity to buy homes. He's trying to give, and listen, your husband sounds like he's related to my wife and I, because we're a firm believer that children should have the opportunity to build some wealth. And if it means coming home to be able to take the next step in advancement, we're all for that. I mean, it's that's a good thing, because there's such a wealth gap in America. We want to reduce the wealth gap, and the way we do that is allowing our children to develop skills and techniques to be able to build wealth. So let me start there by saying your husband's doing the right thing. Your complaint about them not paying anything, not buying food, not paying rent, you're not in the rental business. You're not even in the Airbnb business. Listen, what you're doing is giving your children the opportunity to get not even a fresh start, but to get to the next level. And that's a good thing. Our generation, we didn't have that opportunity. This generation, the opportunities exist. So I say to you, it really isn't disrupting you from going on vacation. So yeah, your grocery bill gets a little higher every time one of them comes home, and you got 3 of them, so they go in cycles. I get it. Yes, your utility bill goes up a bit when they're at home, maybe substantially when they're home, but that's not going to create a crisis in your financial stability. It just means that your expenses, you're right, your expenses are going to go up. But when they're not there, you want to go on vacation, put money aside and go on vacation. That's a nice thing. Put yourself money aside. And I'm not talking about tapping into your reserves. I'm talking about, every month putting some money aside so that when you decide to take your vacation, that money is just for that. But as far as your children being able to come home and being able to build wealth, save money, invest, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. And I encourage everyone out there, listen, I know we want our children to be responsible. That means we want them to show up for their careers every day. We want them to work hard to generate income in that way, first of all, whether it's in their career or whether it's in business. That's what we all should want for our children. Then the second thing is we should want them to build wealth, which means they've got to own property. So giving them the opportunity to save money and buy property, that's a good thing. Invest in the stock market, that's a good thing. Entrepreneurship, that's a good thing. Anything they can do to begin building wealth, they're starting the process so that when we leave this earth, they'll be able to continue on. They'll be able to have a great quality of life, and that's what we should want for our children. So I say to you, don't really be annoyed with what your husband's doing. Your husband there's a method to his madness. You think it's madness, but there's a method to what he's trying to do. All you have to do is be on point with it. You two just have to walk together in agreement and understand that what he's doing is really going to benefit not only your children, but your family long term, from generation to generation. And so, I will say that I'm a firm believer that's a successful method for those of us who didn't start out with the silver spoon in our hands. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stopping at their retail stores, they have everything a man could possibly need. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. You can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. Both companies will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I want to say again, Congratulations to Denise Ford of South Carolina for winning a case of Fiji water from FijiWater.com. We will be having that case shipped to you sometime next week. It should go out. We will say to all of our listeners and viewers, tune in to WKAPFaith.com. 12 p.m., 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and 6 p.m. on Sundays to get the first 3 songs that you hear. And text them on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. Along with your name and your email address, you will have the opportunity to win another case of Fiji water at FijiWater.com. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by